Hey there. So let's talk about algebraic expressions and look at their different parts. Kind of dissect them a little bit, pull them apart, and label the different types of things that can be in expressions. So first, just to review what an algebraic expression is in the first place is it's a combination of numbers, operators, and variables. Meaning, so here's an example. We got some numbers, 3, 7, 2. We've got some operators. There's a plus, a minus. There's actually a hidden one here. That means 3 times x. Got a hidden one here. That means 2 times y. And we've got some variables, some letters that stand for unknown values, so x and y. So this here would be an algebraic expression. Okay, and so what are the different parts? What can we label things as here in this algebraic expression? So I've got them listed here. Constants are the numbers that don't change, i.e. they're not variables. They are what they are. Or as Mathceratops is saying, it is what it is, man. You hear that a lot, especially the more you grow up, the more you'll hear that. Okay, so constant. So an example is 7. 7 equals 7. 7 will always equal 7. It's constantly equal to 7. So this 7 never changes. Alright, but in contrast to that, variables are numbers with an unknown value. So they might represent different things based on the context. So this x here represents an unknown. We don't know what the value of that x is. It could be anything. I could say x is equal to 6. And then if you were to evaluate this expression, you would plug in 6 for x. So in this case, that x stands for the number 6. But in another problem, that x might stand for 60,000. Then you'd plug in 60,000 for x. So we call them variables, these symbols that represent unknown values, because their value varies or changes depending on your situation. Unlike constants, this number 7 will always represent the number 7. So you could say, what is 7? Well, it's 3 plus 4. It's 6 plus 1. It is what it is. Alright, finally we have coefficients. And these are the numbers that multiply terms. So for example, so this is a term. I should probably add a vocab word over here, term, T-E-R-M. The terms are the things in algebraic expressions that are being added or subtracted. So that's a term, that's a term, that's a term. Okay, so coefficients are the numbers that are multiplying the terms. So, for example, here, 3 is the multiplier of this term. So it's 3 times x. Okay, I have no idea what that shape is. Let's delete that. Okay, here, this term is being multiplied by -2. Let me get my green back. Is that the right green? Yeah. Okay, so another way to look at it is coefficients are the numbers attached, quote unquote, to the front of variables. So here 7 is in front of the variable u, -425 is in front of y, 4 is in front of x. Actually, there's a couple little tricks though, things you need to remember. Y is the same thing as 1 times y. So there's actually a hidden coefficient here. So if I were to ask you what are the coefficients of the terms in this algebraic expression, you'd have to say 4 and 1. There's a hidden 1 there. You could also say that for constants, the coefficient of a constant is just that number. So the coefficient of this term, which is made up just of a constant, the coefficient there would be 7. So, let's review. Constants are numbers that don't change. So let's look at this guy. So here, the only constant we have is 3. The constant. Variables are numbers with an unknown value. They vary, they change depending on the situation. So we don't know what u stands for, so that's a variable. And y is a variable, we don't know what that stands for. And x is a variable, we don't know what that stands for. And coefficients are the numbers that multiply the terms. So that's a term, that's a term, that's a term, and that's a term. And the numbers, the coefficients are the numbers that are multiplying each term. So coefficient of this term is 7, coefficient of this term is negative 425. The coefficient of this term is just 3. If it's a constant, it just is the constant. And then here, there's a hidden 1. If there's no number attached, you can assume it's 1, because 1 times the number is the same thing. So I could have written this as 1x, and so the number in front is 1.